Hi, I'm Paul Kyogan from GK Tuition, and in this video I want to talk to you about coordinate geometry of the circle. Now the question we're looking at here is 2018 paper 2 question 4. In this question we're told that the point 18 and the point 90 are at opposite ends of the diameter of a circle W. We're asked to find the center of the circle W. Well, you need to realize that if these two coordinates are at opposite ends of the diameter, then the midpoint of those two coordinates, the midpoint of those 2 points is the center of the circle. So this basically just means get the midpoint of 18 and 90. If I get the midpoint of 18 and 90, I'm subbing into this formula x1 plus x2 over 2, y1 plus y2 over 2. Where x1 is 1, y1 is 8, x2 is 9, y2 is 0. Again, it doesn't matter which one is x1, y1 and which one is x2, y2. I could swap that so that this is x2, this is y2, this is x1, and this is y1. I'd still end up with the same answer. But in this case, if I just sub in x1 plus x2 is 1 plus 9 divided by 2. y1 plus y2 is 8 plus 0 divided by 2. 1 plus 9 is 10, and 10 divided by 2 is 5. 8 plus 0 is 8, and 8 divided by 2 is 4. So your final answer for that bit, the center of the circle, is the point 5, 4. Okay, so for part B here, we're asked to find the length of the radius of the circle in the form p root q. So that means get the distance from the edge of the circle to the center of the circle. I know that one of the coordinates on the edge of the circle is 18, the center of the circle is 5, 4. So I just need to use my distance formula to find the distance from 18 to 5, 4. You can read it straight off your log tables. You label your x1, y1, x2, y2, and if you sub in your length, your radius should work out as root 32. But it asked you to leave it in the form of p root q. So if you plug root 32 into your calculator, it works out as 4 root 2 units. And that's your final answer for part B. The next part now, part C, says, hence write down the equation of the circle W. It says write down, that means you shouldn't have to do any calculations. You can just literally write down the answer. In order to get, if you know the center and the radius, the easiest way to get the equation of the circle is to use the formula x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. That one you can read straight off your log tables, and beside the formula, the log tables tells you that the center is hk. I've worked out that my center is 5, 4. So in this case, instead of a h, I'm going to sub in a 5. Instead of a k, I'm going to sub in a 4. So that's all I did. On the left-hand side, instead of h, it becomes a 5. Instead of k, it becomes a 4. Since it's a minus h, it's actually minus 5. And since it's minus k, it's actually minus 4. And the radius we worked out in the second part, it's 4 root 2. The right-hand side is just r squared, so it becomes 4 root 2 to be squared. You don't have to multiply out the left-hand side, but you do have to multiply out the right-hand side. You have to write 4 root 2 to be squared. If you square it, that works out as 32. So your final answer is in the box here. Now, the final part of this question says to find the equation of the line that is the tangent to the circle at the point A. You should realize that in order to get the equation of a line, you're going to be using the formula y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. And in order to use this formula, you need 1 point and you need the slope. So my goal needs to be get 1 point, get the slope, and then I can sub into this formula. So in order to do that, we need to think about our diagram. I'm looking for the equation of the line that is a tangent to the circle at the point A. If it's a tangent to the circle at the point A, I know that it goes through the point A. So happy days, I have my point. That'll be my x1 and y1 when I sub in. So really the only problem is trying to work out what the slope of this line is. You should know that at the point of contact, the radius and the tangent are perpendicular to each other. So that means that if I can get the slope of the radius from the center of the circle to the point A, the line is just perpendicular to that one. So what I've done here is I'm calling the center C, A is 18 and the center is 5, 4. I labeled it as x1, y1, x2, y2, and I subbed into my slope formula. If you do that one, you end up with the slope of the radius is minus 1 over plus 1. So I know the slope of the radius is minus 1 over plus 1, but I'm concerned with the slope of the perpendicular line. if I know the slope of that line, the perpendicular slope, you just flip the fraction and change the sign. So the perpendicular, if the slope is, so the slope I'm writing is minus 1 over 1, so the perpendicular slope in that case, if you flipped it, it will just become plus 1 over 1. Or in other words, it's just plus 1 rather than minus 1. So now I know the slope of the tangent is 1. Once I know it goes through the point 1,8, and I know its slope is 1. Now it's going to be relatively straightforward. We can just sub into this formula and find the equation of our line. So once I've deduced that, I'm just subbing into my formula. I know it goes through the point 1,8 and then the slope of it is 1, which means I can find the equation of the line. My x1 will be 1, my y1 will be 8, and my m will be 1. If I just sub in, I get this line. You can just manipulate it down. The question asked you to leave your answer in the form ax plus by plus c equals 0, which means you bring everything to one side. It doesn't matter whether you bring everything to the right-hand side or everything to the left-hand side. If I had brought everything to the left-hand side, all of my signs would be the opposite of what I have. But either way, it's acceptable. So your final answer there is this. Now, I hope that makes sense. If there's anything you're struggling with there, then make sure you let me know or send me an email. I'll try and clarify it for you and explain it differently.